Hello and welcome to this video. This is Crafty Ria, and today I'm going to be recycling my 2019 calendar that I recently took down. I hope that you haven't thrown your calendars away. There are a lot of great things you can do with them. My personal favorite thing to do with them is to make envelopes with them for all the cards that I recycle. And I'll start by saying, please pardon my voice. I am still recovering from this cold, and I haven't gotten my voice back yet. I feel much better. Thank you for all of the kind words and well wishes that I received on some of my past videos. But I am feeling better. I just don't have my voice back yet. So here are a couple of the examples of the envelopes I made. This calendar happens to be from Pet Value. It's where we buy our dog food. We do like them because they don't sell cats or dogs, but they do offer them for rescue when they're available. This is not sponsored in any way. I just wanted to share that with you. So this calendar is going to be animal themed or pet themed. This was the back page with all of the different months on it. With a thumbnail image of each of them. I thought that would make a really cute envelope. The inside was the calendar, but you really don't see that anyway. You just seal it up on the outside. So we have that one. And the other envelope we have is this cute little doggy. And the inside was another picture. So I thought that would be cute as an envelope as well. I'm going to show you two ways to make envelopes. The first one is using the envelope punch board, and the second one is not using any special tools. But you can make any size envelope or an envelope for any size card. What's going to limit the size of your envelope with the use of the calendar is how large the pages are. And in this calendar, the pages happen to be about 8.5 inches wide. So that is going to be your limiting size. But my favorite size envelope to make is an A2 size envelope, which is for a card that measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. It's just a little bit bigger than that. And for the envelope punch board, we're going to need a square of 8 by 8, so that will work perfectly with this size. You can look at your punch board if you want to know how big of an envelope you can make with the paper you have, and just go down your paper size and pick the one that measures. You know, pick one that will work for your size of paper or your size of calendar. Most calendars are probably at least 8 inches wide, so you can do the A2 size. So let's go ahead and do one of those using the envelope punch board. I'm going to get my big paper cutter out. And I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to cut this fold off. On the back of that fold was a page of coupons. That's why we have that extra piece. We used some of the coupons. And I'm going to cut it, so I cut this hole off. So I'm going to cut it at 8 inches. And then I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to cut it 8 inches this way. I'm going to see where, if I cut it at 8 inches, how much of the cat I lose. Not much. But I'm going to take a little bit off this side so the cat is a little more centered. Then I'm going to measure it at 8 inches. And trim it. And a lot of this stuff that's on the bottom and on the corners doesn't really matter, because when you fold your envelope, A lot of that will be taken up by the fold. And the center part of your envelope or your page is what's going to show on the front. So I'm going to take my envelope punch board and my bone folder. It comes with a little folder or creaser as well. I'm going to just use my regular bone folder. So I have the measurements for a true A2 size envelope with this. It's not on here. I had to look it up. It's 8 by 8, and I'm going to score at 3.5. So you put it in your envelope punch board and you line it up with 3.5 over here. And you punch, and then you score down this side here. Then you turn it, and I accidentally ripped the paper, but that's okay. You turn it and you're going to line your score up with this arrow here on your next fold. Punch it and then score. Then you're going to turn it again, and it'll line back up at the 3.5, but it will also line up with your score. And then you just do it one more time, and you have all 4 sides done. So that cat's face is going to be in the front of the envelope. You're left over with these little pieces that punched out of the corners. And I'm going to go ahead and fold these 2 small sides in. And then I have to decide where the top is going to be, and obviously this is going to be the top. So I'm going to fold up the bottom piece. Now you can leave it like this, or you can cut that piece off. So I'm going to get my pencil and my ruler, and I'm going to mark it where I want to cut it. You can eyeball it, or you can make a little line. It's up to you. And then just cut that off, or you can fold it back if you'd rather as well. I usually just cut it off, and then that makes a nice clean envelope. I'm going to use my art glitter glue and just put a little bit here. You can use double-sided tape, a glue stick, or any kind of a wet glue that you'd like. There you go, and then fold this piece back. And I like to round that corner off. The envelope punch board has a corner rounder built in on this side. And you just place your corner in. And I did it crooked. Let's do it nice and straight. And then you get a nice rounded corner there. So there we have one envelope done. And like I said, a lot of that stuff that was on the side gets folded over to the back, and you still have a pretty cute little envelope. Now I'm going to show you how to make an envelope without any special envelope tool. I like to use still a bone folder and a ruler and my paper trimmer. But you do not have to have any of those things. So let me find an image that I think would be nice for it. So I'm going to use this bunny. I think it would be great for an Easter card. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that piece out. I'm going to cut it as close to the seam as I can, so I make sure that I have enough paper to make a card. Now you can use lots of different things to make your envelopes with. You can use, the calendar, you can use maps, you can use wrapping paper, any large scraps of paper that you have, junk mail that comes, cardstock, scrapbook paper, whatever you have on hand, you can use to make an envelope for any size card. Your paper just has to be big enough. The bigger the card is, the bigger piece of paper you'll need to have. This is an A2 size card. It is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm going to measure it on the diagonal. And it is right about 7 inches. Round up to the next inch or 1/2 an inch. It is really 6 7/8, but I'm going to go ahead and call it 7 inches. You're going to add 1 inch to that measurement. That's the only thing you need to remember. So then we come up with 8 inches. So you will need a piece of paper that is 8 inches square to make an envelope for this size card. And that's kind of funny because that's the size square that the envelope punch board uses. This is a 5 by 7 card. And if I measure it on the diagonal, I come to 8 1/2 inches. Let's do that in frame here. It measures at 8 1/2 inches. So I would need a square piece of paper that would be 9 1/2 inches to make an envelope for this card. So my calendar would not be big enough. So we have this here, and I'm going to cut it down to an 8-inch square, remember, because this measures 7 inches. So we're going to need an 8-inch square. I'll get my big old paper trimmer out again. And again, I'm going to cut off the piece that has the hole for hanging. Let's go with 8 inches. And then I will cut it this way at 8 inches again. So we have an 8-inch square. We're going to turn it over, and what I like to do is to make a small line on 2 of the corners, just so I know, just to make a line with my pencil, just so I can have a nice even fold and you can see it a little bit better on camera. I'm going to take my card and kind of just put it, I want it centered on the diagonal. I'll show you on this side because there's a contrast, so you can kind of get the idea. I'm just eyeballing this. It does not have to be perfect. I'm going to take my first side and fold it up against the card this way and keep the point in line with that line. And then just give this a fold and then mark it with that. I'm going to unfold it, bring my envelope back. I'm going to give it, I'm not going to line it right up against that fold. I'm going to move it back maybe 1/8 of an inch, just a small amount, just to give the card a little extra room in that envelope. I'm going to fold this piece up, line up that point, and fold. So now we have these 2 sides. Then I'm going to put the envelope back in, and I'm going to go ahead and line up this side. I don't need to draw the line because I'm going to line up my crease here and my crease here. And that's how I'll know I get a nice square. I'm going to do the same thing as I did before, just back the card away a little bit from that crease to give it a little extra room, and then fold up this side. In this case, they pretty much folded to the center. I don't know if that would hold true for all sizes of card. So in order to take some of the bulk out of the card, I'm going to cut away these little triangles that are made by the crease. And I want to cut to the outside of the crease. So I'm cutting away just a tad bit more than that triangle. Not much more, just on the outside of that line. Your cuts don't have to be perfect. Okay, I'm going to fold in the two sides. I'm going to determine which is the top and which is the bottom. I'm going to use this piece as the bottom. And then I'm going to erase this line that I made just for the top part. You don't have to erase the whole thing because that will be folded in and you will not see it. I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other card. Cut away this triangle just to make it look a little more professional. Then I will use my glue, just like I did before on these two sides. So it makes almost the identical card as the envelope punch board, except the punch board does a lot of the work for you. The punch boards go for about $15, I think, on Amazon. I haven't checked the price in a while. And then I want to round that corner. You don't have to. I just happen to have a paper or a corner rounder. I'm going to use the largest one and round it. If you don't have a corner rounder, you can just leave it alone, or you can even cut it with some decorative scissors if you'd like. And then there we have this little envelope. So we have those two envelopes. They came out to be just about exactly the same size. And if you look at the backs, they look almost exactly the same. So there you go. You can use your old calendar, make some really cute envelopes, recycle any old papers that you have, any large pieces of heavy-duty wrapping paper. Maps are great. If you're traveling and you go to the welcome centers in each state, they might still give out free maps. I've gotten many free maps over the years doing that. I don't know if they still have them. You can use brochures from your travels. You can use all kinds of different things to make really cool envelopes. Pages in books. I could just go on and on with the things that you could use. So before you throw something away, look at it and decide if you can make an envelope out of it instead. And like I said, you can make any size envelope by doing this second method that I did without having any special tools. Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed this quick envelope tutorial. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing. I'll be doing a whole bunch of videos this year. I can't wait to share some good stuff with you. If you like what you see, please give it a thumbs up. Please leave me a comment below and let me know what you think. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope you're having a wonderful January of 2020 so far. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.